I went to pastry school so you don't have to, so this is everything that I brought to Friendsgiving. I don't think I can make all of this in 5 hours, honestly, but we're gonna try our best. So I started off by making my milk bread dough, and while that was going, I was rolling out the pie crust for the Milk Bar pumpkin pie. Both these recipes have so many steps to them. I hope you're not confused watching this as I was multitasking. I did my first fold on the pie dough, put that back in the fridge, and then I started working on the crumb topping for the pie. Meanwhile, while all that's chilling and resting, I was also baking the pumpkin puree in the oven, so I took that out, stirred it around, and put it back in. The bread dough is now done, so I'm gonna stop mixing it, and I'm gonna stick it in a slightly warmed oven so that way it proofs a little bit faster. While that's proofing, I'm going to start on the wet caramel for the pie, and because it's a wet caramel, it takes some time to color, so at the same time, I pulled my pie dough back out of the oven and I rolled it into a circle so that way you could shape it for blind baking. Honestly, my pie crust was a little bit too hydrated, so it's probably gonna shrink. That's okay though, I don't really have time to care about that. I'm sorry it's sloppy. But it's okay, that's going into the oven. Somewhere in this timeline too, I also put the crumble in the oven and I took the pumpkin out. Now I'm rolling the bread dough. I'm portioning it out into equal balls, and then I'm rolling them into tight little balls, and then I'm putting them in Peter Pan, say hi everyone, and we're sticking it back in our slightly warm oven to proof. By the time the dough goes in the oven, the caramel's finally ready. I've added milk and butter to it, and then I mixed it together to emulsify and set that aside to cool. And we're gonna make the pumpkin ganache finally. Thank God we are so close, people. My pro tip for making this pie is you have to add a lot of salt to it, more than the recipe says because it's way too sweet, as with all Milk Bar recipes. Now we're gonna take out our cooled pie crust. Don't look at it too carefully. We're gonna put in our caramel, and then we're gonna put on our pumpkin ganache, and then we're gonna stick this in the freezer to cool as fast as possible. The bread rolls now are finally done proofing, and we're gonna top them with egg wash. Look at how floofy they are. And we're gonna stick them back in the oven. We are now going to whip some cream, and we're gonna put it in a piping bag because I got a little bit bored and I wanted to pipe this on, so I'm piping on some whipped cream and adding the crumble in between. And finally, the Milk Bar pumpkin pie is done, and the bread rolls are out of the oven. Oh my God, that took forever. And then I drove everything into the city because once again, I still live with my mother, and we had ourselves a lovely Friendsgiving. Look at the pie, look at the bread. It's so floofy, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.